As the NBA draft combine winds down for another year, I take a look at another couple players that the Bulls could look at number 15 pick. I'll talk about those right after this. What's going on, Bulls Nation? Welcome back to another episode of Whole Lotta Bull. I'm Troy. Follow me on Twitter at Bulls_Troy, but more importantly, follow the show at Whole Lotta Bull. And if you haven't already, please hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, help the channel grow. So with that being said, now as the NBA draft combine winds down for another year, some more players are going to start coming out as like who the Bulls could potentially look at the number 15 pick. Now, you already know I've already covered Cam Carr and Chris Sanak Jr. So today I'm going to look at a couple of other players at I think the Bulls may be possibly in the Bulls range, who they may possibly look at. And the first one of those is Hannes Steinbach from Washington, a guy out of Germany. Averaged 18.5 points a game and just under 12 rebounds per game for Washington last season. And at the NBA draft combine, measured in at just over 6'10". Again, that is in bare feet, but you know, basketball players, they play in shoes, so probably closer to 6'11". Weighed in at 248 pounds, has a wingspan of just over 7'2", and a standing reach of 9 feet. And having a look at his highlights package tonight, again, shout out to No Ceilings for the great videos that they put together for prospects. Here's my quick thoughts on Hannes Steinbach. So he's got a good soft touch around the rim. Now it does kind of remind me of, dare I say it, Nikola Vucevic in that point. Like, he can get into the post, has a nice soft touch, laying it off the basket, got that little baby hook going for him as well. But he will, you give him the opportunity, and he will attack the basket with power and slam it home. Now another player who's a little bit like Nikola Vucevic, can step out and shoot from the outside. Not the greatest shooter in the world, but his shot mechanics are actually quite nice, and does show that, continues to work on that. He can actually be a threat from the outside, especially open 3-point shots. We saw it in Nikola Vucevic. He could get outside and shoot the 3-pointer, but when he was forced into being a 3-point shooter, wasn't when he was at his best. But hey, Hannes Steinbach is a player who can get out and shoot from the perimeter. Does have a nice little post fadeaway jump shot as well. He can, backhand his man and fade away on the block there. Now, look at it. He can find the open man. Like when he gets double teamed or anything like that, he'll find the open man. If they cut to the basket, he gets the double team, the cross court passes, the dump off passes. He definitely has that ability there with him as well. Defensively, he does look solid. It's nothing flashy whatsoever. Just strong fundamentals that you'd basically expect from a European big. But probably the knock on him is that when stronger players will play physical with him, that's when he's going to struggle. So that's something that he needs to get better at. He's got an NBA-ready body at almost 250 pounds. He just needs to learn how to use it. So that's it. And hey, like every single player in this draft, even the top 4, they all have flaws. They all have things that they need to work on. These guys that are in mid-first round and beyond are no different. They're all going to have things that they need to work on. This is one thing that Hannes Steinbach is going to need to work on, is learning to use his body and getting physical with his opponents. So he's an option that could be there for the Chicago Bulls at pick 15. So tell me in the comment section down below, what do you think of Hannes Steinbach? Do you think he's an option that the Chicago Bulls should look at the number 15 pick, if he even falls to number 15 pick? There's some mock drafts that do have him potentially going to the other Oklahoma City Thunder. or he could be a player that the Golden State Warriors could look at. But hey, let me know down below if Steinbach, we're going to struggle with these names sometimes. If he's there at number 15, is he a player that the Bulls should definitely look to pick up with that pick? With that being said, the next player on my list is Morez Johnson Jr. out of Michigan. Did spend a year at Illinois. So at the combine, did measure in at 6'9", 250 pounds as well. Has a wingspan of 7'3" and a half. Dude has some length on him and has a standing reach of 8'11". This is a guy who is very naturally strong and will use his strength to hit to his advantage. Now, in last season for Michigan, played in the 40 games, averaged 13.7 boards, did shoot 62% from the field, 34% from beyond the arc. And actually, just quickly, I didn't mention Hannes Steinbach numbers there as well. 57, just under 58% from the field, 34% from beyond the three-point line, and 76% from the free throw line. That's for Hannes Steinbach. Getting back to Morez Johnson Jr., 62% from the field, 34% from the three-point line, 78% from the free throw line there for Morez Johnson Jr. that season with Michigan. And he's another player as well. Another player. This guy has a very high motor. Now, I only watched maybe 1 or 2 Michigan games this season, so I'm not going to pretend like I know much about him. Didn't see Hannes Steinbach play at all for Washington. So I'm basing these off of these videos that I've seen with No Ceilings. So again, shout out No Ceilings. Very, very high motor for Morez Johnson Jr. Will dunk the basket with absolute ferocity. It's almost like he's got a personal problem with the basket, how much ferociousness he will dunk that basketball with. Off-ball lob threat, he'll definitely roll to the rim and get up and throw down lobs. Can score in the paint a little bit on baby hooks and overpowering his opponent. Shooting mechanics do appear like they need a little bit of work there as well. But hey, shooting at 34%. This is a guy that could probably, if we could get Peter Patton back in Chicago, I think Peter Patton, with both him and Hannes Steinbach, he could put in some great work and get these guys up to 36+% 3-point shooters. So at this point in his career, especially early in his career, might be best to stick to shooting open corner threes at the NBA level. But hey, that's not to say he can't develop, the all-round 3-point game as well. Now, again, very high motor, is an absolute ferocious defender, will defend all 94 feet of the floor, is a very switchable defender, can get out and guard perimeter players like smaller guards as well. He won't just block shots. He will annihilate them. He will send them into the 15th row if he gets the opportunity to do so, which, hey, looks good as well. Like, it gets the crowd pumped up. It will get the teammates pumped up. But at the same time, if you can also keep that ball in play and put it to your team's advantage, that's better to do so. But hey, nothing wrong with sending a message to your opponent, putting that shot into the 15th row of the crowd, and be like, think twice again before you come attacking the basket while I'm in here. Now, as I mentioned before, mobile enough to be a switchable defender and can stick with the guards. His length will create issues in the passing lanes and allows him to get a hand on perimeter 3-point shots and poke the ball away from those smaller guards on the dribble as well. And again, a very naturally strong player. So, and I think with his hustle and the heart he plays with, I think if he's who the Bulls pick at number 15, I think that he's a player that Bulls fans will absolutely fall in love with and rock with him his whole career in a Chicago Bulls uniform. I think he's definitely one of those types of players that Bulls fans will absolutely love. So let me know down in the comments now what you think about Morez Johnson Jr. Do you like him at pick 15 for the Chicago Bulls? Now, again, hit that like button, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. That's going to do it for me today. Just a quick draft scouting report on a couple players. Hannes Steinbach, Morez Johnson Jr. Let me know what you think about these guys in the comments down below. And don't forget, you guys can follow me on Twitter at Bulls_Troy. Follow the show at Whole Lotta Bull. So until next time, Bulls fans, see red, be good.